Hey my friend, welcome back to a new video. If you came across this message today, there's something that you need to hear. I want to share with you 5 different messages that will inspire you. It will help you to navigate yourself through this time of great change. All the energies you've been feeling, the letting go of the old timeline, the tuning into a new frequency that felt like an inspiration, that felt like a need for change, that felt like letting go of the old structure and old routines and old habits and getting into new ones brought you to here, my friend. So if you're hearing this, it's not by chance. There's a deeper part of you that has been waiting for a reminder of who you are beyond the noise, beyond the fear, beyond the past. So what is awakening within you is a spirit of a warrior. Not some kind of a warrior that is fighting and suffering, but a kind of a warrior that knows how to work with spiritual forces, with energies, with vision, with alignment, with mastery over your mental and emotional body. And I want to give you these reminders because I know that parts of you will be activated because you will hear them, because something within you will be inspired by these words. So firstly, welcome back everyone. My name is Gasper. And every single day I share with you messages of guidance, of energy updates, of whatever is needed at that precise time to help you, guide you towards what truly matters. Returning back to knowing who we are so we can embody more of that knowing and be a beacon of light for everyone that we meet on our journey. So what I want to remind you firstly is that the quiet strength of the one who does not fight. This is what awakens in anyone who goes onto a journey in life that is far more than just material gain. There is a power that does not shout, does not strike, does not defend itself with noise. It is the strength of what we call self-control, but I will explain it deeper because otherwise it sounds too rigid. It's a strength of inner peace that no enemy can reach. When the storm inside becomes calm, the world outside loses its power over you. So it's about making peace with ourselves, with our past and with our future, and therefore there is nothing left to conquer because we already became winners. So if you're a winner, write down I'm a winner and live like that. To live like a winner means that you make peace with yourself and you recognize that you are the product of what you have been through, which means that a huge part of your identity is your past. But your past could serve as a book of lessons, or it could serve as a bunch of burdens you're still carrying with you. Any memory that doesn't bring you peace means it's unprocessed, means there's something that is causing resistance. And in order to shift to a higher timeline right now, you will need to look deep into your past and make peace with each part that is still unprocessed. Make peace with it and there is nothing left to conquer. Because every neediness, every moment of shame, every moment of sadness, every moment of worry, every moment of feeling unstable, unsure, comes from a certain moment in time of your past when you felt threatened and you reacted to this kind of threats in some in your unique ways. We all have, our own logos, our own unique way to make order, to make sense, to make meaning out of what is happening. And what we need to figure out is how our own system of making sense, of finding solutions in problems, of creative channeling at times when we feel stuck works. We need to find out how our own system of thinking works. So then we can turn it into our favor when we look back into certain memories and turn them into wisdom. That's how we start building the quiet strength. And for that, we need to, like I often remind you, we need to know ourselves, which means we need to sit with ourselves, focus on one specific point, don't move your eyes, and just breathe deeply. And what will happen, you will stop overanalyzing your life and you will start focusing on the present moment. And in the present moment, whatever memory will come up, you will be able to make peace with it, and it will teach you wisdom. That's how we start gathering pieces of ourselves back together into a beautiful puzzle that is called us, or me, or you. So the quiet strength of the one who does not fight is something that awakens when you go through this process. The second message I want to give you today is, to become whole, you must refuse to become the wound. So one more time, to become whole, you must refuse to become the wound. Now think about how you explain yourself when you think about yourself, and how much of this explanation comes from certain wounds. When people say, I'm not so good at dealing with money, or I'm not so good with people, I'd rather be alone, and things like that. Those are all some kind of sayings that come from certain wounds of the past. Because those who are healed, they say, well, I love everything. I enjoy in everything at the right amount. I love everything in moderation. I know myself. I know when I need something. I love everything. Those kind of people are not offended. They know everything is perfect. They enjoy life. They enjoy relationships. They enjoy solitude. They enjoy creative work. They enjoy rigid work. They have discipline, but they are also free. Those are people who live a life of wholeness. They're not avoiding certain people. They're not avoiding certain scenarios. They're not avoiding hard things. They know all good work comes out of something hard. So whatever is hard will turn into something good. They understand that. The reason they understand that is that they know that pain can turn a heart into iron or into gold. So the question is only where the focus is at the time of pain. Because we know that in front of us is infinity of options. So it's like an abyss. And abyss is made of two different potentials. One is negative potential, another one is positive potential. Those who see pain as a force that is leading them into a positive potential of transformation that can happen out of this pain will turn their hearts into gold, and they will draw many incredible lessons that then they can teach onto society because they've been through pain. Now most people do the opposite. They feel pain, and then out of feeling pain they look forward into the future, but into a negative potential of the future scenarios, because they choose to define their future based by feeling of pain. They don't see pain as initiation into something good, something positive. They see it as a curse that will only turn into something worse. So therefore, we need to become alchemists in our lives. We need to learn to transmute what we feel into an action that will take us to something better than where we are right now. And that's where we become godlike, because we start using what is and transforming it into something better. Only we can do that, because we can choose, we can intentionally decide to do something better, no matter the effort, no matter the energy, no matter the investment we need to put in. This is like our God's will that we put into action because we feel pain and we want to experience some kind of positive change. So therefore we can erase the kind of error that has been causing pain, maybe in human characteristics, human qualities, or lack of human qualities. That was the source of pain. So we improve that. That's our job, my friends. Those who become whole have learned that what you hold on to, you become. This is very important to know. What you hold on to, you become. So if you're holding on to pain, if you're holding on to something from the past, you stay there. You stay that old version of you. As many of you are shifting to a new frequency, many of you are realizing that it's time to let go of a story you've been telling to yourself and rather embrace what life gave you at this moment. It's not about living in the past, it's not about living in a dream, it's about living in the present reality and making a dream happen right here, right now. What you hold on to, you become. So be real with yourself. How your reality is right now is how it is. That's also something I've reminded you yesterday when I've talked about God's power being activated, 369. What you hold on to, you become. And when we answer injury with injury, we slowly take the shape of what we hate. This is very important to understand here, because so many times people walk around complaining and then they become what they're complaining about. And those who walk around seeing challenges and they are creatively resolving them, they become resolution of these challenges. And then people are like, yeah, they've been lucky, right? Because you don't see their mindset, you don't see their heart set, you don't see their hard work. So the truth that everyone who became whole or who is in a process of becoming more whole and complete understands that what breaks the cycle is compassion. So if you want to break your family, people say family curse, family wounds, family negative, destructive cycle when it comes to mentality, when it comes to how they express themselves, it's compassion. Compassion says, I feel you, I understand you, but I'm not willing to stay on that level. I will find a way to level up, and when I do, I can show you a way. So I'm not pushing what I know onto you, but I can show you a way. I will always support you to follow that path. You don't need to follow me, but follow the path that will lift you up. This is what compassion says. It's different than sympathy, because it feels, compassion feels. When we are compassionate, we feel one another, but we don't stay at the level of what others feel. We find a way to transmute these feelings into something greater, not just through positive thinking, but through change in behavior. So this kind of events stop repeating. Whatever events that are destructive, whatever habits that are destructive. Many of you have found yourself changing your habits, maybe old addictions, smoking, drinking, smoking weed, porn, whatever it was for you that you've noticed in your life that you want to end, you want to change. you've realized that even when you decide to change, you easily fall back into the old habit. Why it happens? Because old is so much more familiar, and also because you're still identified with it. You see, what you hold on to, you become. If you're still identified with something from the past, which means you're still talking about it, like you still say, I was this, you're still holding on to it. Those who have overcome the past, they are not identified with it anymore. They talk about the past almost like it was another person, because they've changed their identity. They talk about their future. They talk about, I am becoming this. I am mastering this. I'm becoming so good at this. They don't talk so much about, I was this, and it's so hard to get out of this. They're so focused onto who they are becoming, and that's how they're turning their pain into a heart of gold, because they're aiming towards it. And in this process, they have a great compassion towards themselves, because they know that it requires a lot of effort, because now reprogramming requires a lot of intention, a lot of action, and therefore a lot of energy, because we're stepping into something new. You see, when you fight a dragon long enough, you begin to grow scales. This is an ancient saying. If you fight a monster long enough, you become one. It's not about fighting anything. It's about moving on and becoming someone new. That is not someone you're not, it's just more of yourself. It's like unbecoming who you were, the conditioned you, and becoming more of who you really are. That requires work. In alchemy, they would call it the great work. It requires a lot of study, because sometimes our mind requires something to be inspired by. This is also my mission, to give you messages to inspire you, to activate the parts of your mind that will see a possibility, that will see a way out from where you are. And you will notice in your life that fight work to a certain degree, but at some point you stop fighting and you start thriving in a new version of becoming. That's why there's another old saying that says, a state of God is a state of constant becoming. So if you want to become more divine, more God-like, not in some, arrogant way, or the arrogance is ego, but in a loving way, in a powerful way, in a coherent way, start becoming something new every single moment. Start becoming something new, which means be more present and act intentionally, not automatically. Because that's how we are becoming something new, something fresh. Become unpredictable in your life. So people can't predict anymore what you're onto, because you became so present, so intentional that every single moment you feel a spark of inspiration within you that moves you. You don't act according to how you feel emotionally, you act according to how you are deeply inspired, and to feel inspiration, you need to be very connected with yourself. So many of you are on the way of the unseen warrior. No one sees that, because this is your inner work. So therefore, you don't experience praise for that, which is also good, because praise is often a food for ego. And what you're doing is you're maturing your ego into more of just I am. You see, the highest form of strength walks without a sword. There is discipline, intention, and clarity, yet no hunger for domination. This is a way of the unseen warrior. To protect life, to uphold truth, to act with purpose rather than ego. This is the real warrior. To protect life, to uphold truth, to act with purpose rather than ego. So When people go against you, when people criticize you, when people judge you, how you protect your life? Well, by living it. By keeping up living your life, because otherwise they won, right? If they pulled you off your path, they won. If they pulled you off your truth, they won. If they pulled you off your intention, they won. If they pull you off your purpose, they won. And now your ego got hurt. You see, when you start living with purpose, you start putting your ego aside because you don't need it anymore. You don't need validation anymore. You don't need some kind of approval anymore. You need to just keep following your truth. The unseen warrior moves are quiet, expansive, and entirely without fear. Now you see fear, you feel fear, but you move despite it. That's how you forge yourself. This is an important lesson when it comes to this journey of evolution, because you will come to the point where you will meet maybe other forces, not your family members anymore, or someone that was maybe pushing you aside, or a bad habit, or whatever was your past force or present force that was deeply limiting your life's experience of freedom. Then you come across greater forces that may try to pull you astray. You may experience more financial freedom, and now there's many desires that may pull you astray. Like, not that there's something wrong with it, we all have this kind of seasons where we explore and play around. But if you find yourself on a path of purpose, on a path where you are building on a mission, then there's many distractions. Your phone can be your enemy many times, right? Because it's pulling you away from what you're doing. You want to keep your mind sharp, but there's constant, new information on your feed, or new notifications, or so many different social media platforms, or someone just posted something interesting. So you need to be aware what kind of input you want to put into your mind, but also build the discipline to live without any input, so you can live in clarity, so you don't allow just anything to poison your perception. This is the way of the unseen warrior. It sounds like a very ideal thing, but take from it what will resonate for you at this point of your evolution. You see, to raise your frequency, you need to purify, you need to empty your cup, so then something new can be poured in. And sometimes false ideas, or limiting ideas, or shattered perceptions, or stories of the past that we need to remove, and we need to start focusing on something greater that is maybe a version of yourself you're becoming rather than who you were. And in that process, we experience many times suffering. It's a part of the thing. In all ancient traditions, they knew suffering is a part of spiritual ascension and growth. And therefore, those who don't want to suffer will never grow. And those who will not grow will never experience the great joy of life. And therefore, they can't be happy. So suffering is part of happiness. It's not punishment, it is initiation. Pain is the doorway through which wisdom enters. And it helps us to see what we don't want, so we can focus on what we do want. So it helps us to filter our focus, our point of attention. Okay, I don't want these things, so I will focus rather on what I do want, and I will work towards it. I will move towards it. I will discipline myself, so every single day I will take action towards it, especially at the days when it will be hard, because at those days my old nature is just more persistent. Life tempers us as fire tempers steel, not to break us, but to make us clear, strong, and resilient. That's what we need to know. So every fall teaches balance, every loss teaches value, my friend. Every fall teaches balance. So sometimes I get this kind of messages like, I've started working on this business, or on learning to trade, or learning to paint, but I see no success. People say, I see no success. I've been working for a few months and I see no success. I say, hey, my friend, be patient. Have you fallen with it? Have you experienced failures with it? Have you experienced breakdowns with it? That is growth. We don't see it as growth because our only idea of growth is that ideal result we have in our minds. But we don't see that to get to that ideal result, we get through forging a skill that can only happen by falling. That's how we learn to ride a bicycle, and that's how we learn to walk, and that's how I've learned to paint, by making many failures. So every loss teaches value if we see it. So when you're changing your habits, my friend, when you are changing your mindset, when you're learning to be more communicative, or to set stronger boundaries, or to express your truth, to voice out your voice, know that when you lose it, when you become very emotional, when you become very reactive, that taught you value. Journal about it, reflect about it. Because you will fail many times, and in failing you will learn, and in learning you will rise. And that's what everyone on this path understands. That's what I've learned. You see, I read many books in my life, many books. But every time when I was in some kind of a very hard situation, I almost forgot everything I've read, because I needed to face with that situation. And that's where I gain my greatest lessons I can speak from. So what I share with you is not knowledge from books. That was more for my vocabulary, so I can talk. I can, have words to explain what I see and sense and feel. I talk from my personal experiences. I know how it is to walk this path. I was never good in social life. Now I love social life. I was never good at sharing my emotions. Now I'm good at sharing my emotions. I was never good at managing money. Now I'm good at managing money. I was never good at art. I'm not coming from an art family. I've learned to make art. I've learned to paint. I've learned to manage these things. I've learned that everything in life is a skill. So if everything is a skill, skills can be learned. This is our capability. We can learn skills and therefore become skillful, and with that also wise. So you will fail many times, and in failing you will learn, and in learning you will rise. So suffering is not punishment, it's always an initiation. I know some of you needed to hear that. And people that don't apply that, they say, oh, I've heard this before. Only people who never apply this say that, because those who are applying it, they say, I needed this reminder again. I've fallen off the path again. And the last reminder I want to give you today: true character is revealed when no one is watching. It's not how you show up, it's not what you say, it's what you do when no one is watching. Because that's when you're truly showing to life who you are. So faith gives you circumstances, or you could say life gives you circumstances, or maybe randomness of life gives you circumstances, even though there is no randomness. Everything is a manifestation of your core frequency, core vibration, and core beliefs. So life gives you circumstances, and choice makes the person. Your choices make you who you are. So deep within, there is a universal nature of you, and that is I am. You are that you are. This is the real nature. But you can say it many times. You can say it 1,000 times a day. I am that I am. And after it, you make a choice out of your past. or out of your fear or out of your avoidance. So it doesn't matter what you say, you become a product of your choices. So therefore, our choices need to be intentional and conscious. And that is the great work. That is where we are truly forging ourselves. Just think about what's your choice after this moment. What will be your choice? What will you choose? And where it will take you. You see, you have many choices, and that's where people sometimes become indecisive. So you need to have priorities in your life. That's how we build great things. We need to have priorities because we're all bombarded with many things to do. So what we prioritize, what's familiar or what we want to build. How do we make choices out of what is easy or what is important? And how do we know what is important? Well, we need to know what we value, right? And our values come from what we know. So our choices deeply depend on our knowledge. That's why it's important to expand our knowledge so we can improve our lives. Many of you are ascending on this journey of spiritual evolution of this time, and therefore your values are changing very fast. So you also need to know that this is a normal part of this time. We are changing so fast, so it's not to blame you like, oh, I don't value same things I did 1 month ago. It's a nature of this time. Just know who you are is decided in the silent crossroads where no one will praise you or blame you. Courage is a very quiet force, and integrity is unseen, but it shapes you. It always shapes you. You become what you do when no one is watching. A man or woman is shaped by the decisions he or she makes when he or she thinks he or she is alone. You are shaped by the decisions you make when you think you're alone. Once we truly understand what this means, we become quite conscious at what we do. And yeah, we become like, even if you think no one is watching, your subconscious mind is watching. And it is being programmed by your decisions, not just what you say. So it's very important to keep this in mind, because I know how hard it is sometimes to change a habit. You may say, just this time. I'm not saying don't enjoy your life, but when you enjoy your life, do it consciously, do it intentionally. Right now I will eat some sugar. Right now I will go into bed a bit later because I will watch a movie or whatever it is, and then fully enjoying it. Commit to it, enjoy it, have fun with it. But when you say you will not do it, then don't do it. That's what it means to hold ourselves accountable. That is quiet discipline. That's where we are building integrity. No one will see it. That's why the real spiritual work is not, it's not just a fun thing or something nice to read about or some positive thinking. There's a lot of inner work that no one will see, like dealing with your shadow, dealing with your fears and anger and shame and frustration. No one will see that, but it's always you versus you. It's you who needs to keep yourself up and lift yourself up and forge this quiet courage within you. And then also the beautiful work of this comes up, which are maybe visions of guidance and inspiring pulls that turn your dreams into reality when you take action with it. And then your manifestations turn into reality. And yeah, that's the beautiful part of it. But you see, most of it happens in this quiet world that no one will notice. It's only when it happens in reality that our lives become the byproduct of our inner transformation. So I hope you found a great value today. I will leave you here. I am sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. I hope you've enjoyed also in today's painting. I'm an artist and I share with you this kind of messages to, as I said, to guide you, to help you guide you to see what really matters. So to anyone who would like to get a print of today's painting or any other of my painting, you can go onto AttractPassion.com and you will find all of my work there. So check it out. Each painting has a unique story, unique energy, and whichever resonates with you has something to give you. So check it out. And also join our Patreon community for more exclusive content that is not available on YouTube. And if you would like to support this channel, you can join YouTube membership. That's another way you can support this. So thank you so much. And till next time, one love.